Hello there. Today we decided to sit here outside as we went for our daily walk. And of course Michal brought a tripod, so we decided to record a video for you.
That's my role in the relationship. I'm the tripod
bearer.
Tripod bearer, yes. Important function.
And we don't know yet what we're gonna talk about, so we're gonna figure out somewhere along the way. And I think before we start, I just want to say that I like this idea of just stopping somewhere and having the camera and just talking about something, like having a conversation with you, and just talking about something with you, just talking with you, because this is something that I'm still a little bit uncomfortable with, being on camera, speaking to you. I know we've done it a lot, but there's been couple triggers in the past, so I really like doing this, having this approach of just sitting and okay.
And me too, actually. And I always enjoyed having conversations with you. I guess that's part of why we're together. And in a way, not having a fixed topics makes it feel more real. Like it's sometimes you meet a friend and have a intentional topic focused conversation, but I guess most of the time it's just being together and holding space and seeing what comes up. So I'm happy to do it with you.
Cool. And something else that's coming to my mind is that I like the idea. I like when we record things and we kind of interview each other. We had a call a while ago for our a talk for our podcast, that you were talking to me about fear of jumping off this cliff, remember? And you were interviewing me.
Yes.
And I like this, and I think this is how a lot of good podcasts that I listen to work, is there's someone interviewing a guest. So we can also do this with each other, but like how can we have this and just have a conversation? Since that, like, we know each other so well, I don't need to like do previous research on you to then interview you.
But there's still some things she doesn't know, hidden deep in the vault.
Actually, yesterday or 2 days ago, we've been together for 7 years, but 2 days ago I learned that Michal used to be in a Polish folklore dance group for 3 years, and I had no idea, and I thought I knew everything about you.
Dancing Krakowiak, Polones, all these funky Polish dances. Absolutely. Recommend it to anyone. It was great fun.
One day you'll show us.
Yeah, I'll show you some pictures. Oh my god. I'm sure there's pictures. My father was taking always a lot of pictures, so there's somewhere there to embarrass me in the future.
Shall we have a check-in?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel like this idea of sitting down and record really energizes me. And I had a good day. I feel like, it was... My intention for today was to work a lot from my journal rather than from my computer. And I feel like I succeeded in that. I've spent a lot of time on paper rather than in front of a screen. I mean, I still was in front of a screen, but it was considerably less, and I was getting less and less distracted with the screen activities. I'm just moving my jacket that's doubling as a windshield.
Yeah, I hope the wind is not too strong.
Our professional setup. So I'm feeling good. Like, I feel like it was a good day, and now I'm landing here, feeling a bit kind of still not fully connected with my body, but feeling more connected with my body. I think I was feeling a bit...
Than you were before.
Yes, I was like a bit disconnected, like not just today, but like in a general longer period. And now I feel like I'm slowly coming back to it. And I feel good, like I feel some energy to move, and yeah, it feels good to be on a walk as well and talk with you. So I'm feeling grounded. I'm feeling grounded. It feels great, because that's my practice for this quarter. How about you?
I feel a richness of thoughts and ideas and feelings inside of me. which is a nice feeling. Yeah, I noticed that it's different than what usually happens when I have a lot of movement inside me, which usually causes overwhelm, especially intellectual movement, and now I feel just richness in the variety, so it feels like filling in a good way. I'm feeling excited to connect with you in this way. It's nice. I feel a little bit like still this nervousness of being on camera, but enjoying this moment. I'm a bit distracted because there's a car there. Just waved. We wave at everyone here.
That's the trick for making connections in a village. Just wave at every single person and smile. Like, it just earns trust of locals.
We're locals now.
We are.
Anyway, so yeah, feeling a little bit distracted right now. Feeling playful, and at the same time, like a little bit afraid of being judged, I guess. Like being on camera and people watching this. But feeling playful about the whole thing and just like, yeah, I love you and I enjoy being with you and spending time with you and having fun, and this feels like fun.
Couldn't contain.
So, how shall we go about this?
Would you like to be the interviewer or interviewee? I can interview you because you have lots of interesting things going on.
Yeah, I could be interviewed.
Yeah. So you can just take a moment to submit your questions right now to me, okay? So like send them psychically, please. Okay, but like please no swear words, just good language. I'm trying to tune in. Okay, so Jenny264 was asking about your holiday because this week you actually just started your holiday right now. So what is different in your life when you're on holiday? Because you're not really traveling anywhere, so you're still in the same house, we're still living there, but what changes? I mean, of course, I guess you don't work, but how is your day really different when you're on holiday?
Well, one of the differences I see is what I expect of myself. Like, I don't expect so much of myself, or at least this is my goal, but I end up expecting still some things from being on holiday, which I don't really like, but at the same time I think it's healthy. So it's about setting the boundary between what kind of things I want to expect of myself and up to what level is good for me to actually respect that expectation and just try to do it. So for example, I think I usually when I take a break, one expectation I have is that I'll like figure certain things out. Like, okay, I'm gonna have a break, so I am going to grab all these pieces that have been just scattered around and just make sense of it. And after I come back, I'm gonna have so much clarity. And so this is an unhealthy expectation, I think, because it's outcome focused. So I want to have process focused goals for my holiday, which is what I have right now, and I'm really happy about it. So one thing I want to do is be away from screens and online life. I want to take at least one full day to just go to the forest and spend time there. And I want to learn. I want to use this time to learn things that I'm excited about. And I want to be creative also. Like, again, not outcome focused. It's not like I want to finish writing 2 blog posts and make 20 drawings. I just want to have a creative mindset. So I want to be thinking about things. I want to be seeing things and immediately process them in a way, or according to the question, how can I turn this into something beautiful? Or just like taking those pieces and not necessarily making sense of them, but just playfully putting them together and see what comes up. So like reading and learning, if I feel curious about something, and which is something that I still struggle with. Like a lot of the times I learn things based on what I think I should be learning for a specific purpose, and I want to allow myself to follow my curiosity more. So yeah, one of the ways in which I want to exercise that creativity is just like learn about what I'm feeling genuinely curious, and then just like, oh, what happens if, I make a drawing about this, or I go outside and think about it as I go for a walk, and then take a picture, or create, or like tweet about it, or just write something without pressure. So this is one of my plans, to do certain things that I know will be good for me, instead of just kind of mindlessly floating by and just getting lost on my phone just because I don't have anything to do. I want to spend time in the forest a whole day, ideally more. I want to learn, I want to play, I want to be creative, I want to move, I want to work in the garden, which we started today, and there have been some obstacles.
We're not farmers at all, it's the first time in our lives that we're actually learning how to grow our own food, and the more I do it, the more I realize that it's just so obvious that most of the population now works in front of computers, because working with the land is fucking hard work, but it's incredibly rewarding, and it's beautiful, and you can get your own food that's amazing quality, so the payoff is quite huge. And yeah, it's like every skill, it just takes some time to practice. But coming back to just fixing our windshield again, I think, let's see if it's gonna work. We just need to drop the idea and hope that it works for the best. But wow, that sounds like quite a lot of plans for a holiday.
Yeah.
And I guess I really like how this connects with this idea of expectations that you have set for yourself. So what is your relation? So you just kind of shared all of those different ideas, and what is your relationship with them and your expectations? So you're gonna kind of just wait for those things to happen, or you're gonna kind of try to keep yourself accountable to make those things happen, or you don't really care? This is more like, this is my intentions, and if they happen, they happen. If they don't happen, it's okay.
No, I'm keeping myself accountable. I've been learning, I've been drawing, I've been I've been creating. I've been in a creative mindset and in a very playful way, and I really like that. So I feel like this is, even if I don't do anything else, I'm already happy.
Well, it's your holiday. You can do anything you want. You can just even rest.
Yes, that's true. But this is resting in a way for me, because it's a different kind of creating. It's creating without. I don't even know how to explain. I mean, I think
It's
this
not
is
like
how
we
all
have constraints, right?
exactly. It's not like I think creating when I am at work should be like full of constraints and conditions. I think all work should be playful. All creation should be playful. But yeah, I feel like I am resting because I'm doing certain things differently. And I am also, tomorrow it's decided that I'm gonna spend the day in the forest, so this is also really going to happen. Well, I can't say it's for sure until I have actually done it, but yeah, I
Sounds
am
very exciting.
holding myself accountable.
No, I was asking because you mentioned this expectations before, so I wonder to like where is this balance? I guess because I'm asking because it happens for me as well sometimes, that I set high expectations for myself, even when it's for holiday, which is kind of sometimes paradoxical that I've fallen into this trap so many times that my holiday is not really holiday, it just ends up work of a different kind, and I just overload myself with other things. So yeah, I guess this is why I'm asking, and I'm curious how you navigate this challenge, because I know we both have this tendency to do more and to take it the next mile, which is good, but sometimes it's also it requires energy, right? And we all need to replenish sometimes and just regenerate and heal.
I am sensing that you are suspecting that this is what I'm doing right now, taking on too much from my holiday.
No, not at all. It's not really with that intention. It's more.
And like you want to warn me about it. Is that
maybe
it?
There's a hint of that, but I think more is curiosity, because I know for me this is a common trap, and I can recognize myself in kind of the things you say, like, oh, I'm gonna go on a bicycle tour and I'm gonna go to the forest and then I'm gonna read this book, and then I end up just needing rest or like being a bear cave for a day. And it's not that I don't do other things, I still do them, but I think sometimes I feel that maybe if I don't just like really rest with no expectations, no nothing, then it's like it doesn't count.
So what does it mean to you to really rest as opposed to like spending a day outside?
I think that's a good question, because I don't really know the answer. I think part of me thinks like, yeah, just lie down in shavasana all day, but I don't. Well, that's also might be a good practice for me, because I guess I'm too much of energy and just like do things. I need more stillness in my life. But yeah, I also, I'm also much more drawn to the idea of active rest. Just, I know that sometimes the way how it happens for me is I love being active so much that active rest turns into no rest. It's just action. And then I'm tired, and then I reach the end of the holiday and I've had a great time. Not that I didn't, I really enjoyed myself, but I don't feel necessarily rested.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is the case for you, and I'm not really trying to warn you or anything. I'm just curious how you navigate this relationship. Just because you mentioned that you have these expectations and you named quite a few things that to me seem like, like a lot of things, not that you cannot do them or they cannot be fun or play or rest for you, just more of a curiosity.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, I think. And I know that sometimes it also happens to me. I think maybe a way that is like a better way to describe it rather than expectations. I think what I am noticing, and I think this is not entirely conscious, but I'm realizing it as I talk to you, is that I have certain needs that I really want to have met. For example, I'm really tired for spending so much time in front of the screen. Like my eyes are tired. I am like not existing in my body. I'm forgetting that I have a body. And I feel very much just like ahead and the muscles I'm flexing, it's my eyes and my brain, and I want to have a little bit of rest from that. So this is why I want to spend a day or more outside in the trees, just walking and watching and just thinking and singing, whatever. I'm gonna take some books also in my notebook, and I wanna be doing some drawing. But again, it's not like it's not mandatory. I can do those things.
I see.
It's okay if I don't. I'm just not gonna be in front of the screen. So this is one of the things. Another one is I feel tired of certain thinking patterns, and this is also why I am focusing on this creativity thing, because I want to allow myself this space to do things differently and rest from those loops that are getting me stuck. Because it's like, if I don't do anything, or if I don't plan anything, because I always do anything regardless of whether I plan it or not. So if I don't plan anything, I end up defaulting back to those loops and patterns, because it's like, okay, what do I do? But if I plan something different, then like I'm focusing on doing something positive, and that is not those things that I want to rest from. Does this make sense?
I think so, yeah. It's just kind of using your creative energy, but turning it in a different direction, basically, and creating this constraint that you don't spend your time in front of the computer, and that also is kind of this different aspect of addressing the needs that you have right now. No, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing. I think as you were sharing this, one question or topic that I would like to explore, that was just kind of popping in all the time, was you were mentioning a lot about your creative practice, that you want to cultivate this creativity and do it in a bit of a different way right now and explore different patterns. Would you like to share? Because before you were telling me about some of your new projects and ideas, and I know you've been doing lots of creative stuff recently that I really enjoy. So would you like to share some of your new projects that you're experimenting with?
Sure. So I've been drawing recently, which is something that didn't really happen in a while. I mean, I draw like illustrations for blog posts that I write, but I don't really draw just for the pure fun and exploration of drawing itself. So I've been doing that, and it's lots of fun. Like I'm realizing now that I'm on like drawing 24 of this goal of drawing 100 things. I'm realizing like there's phases, and it changes, and I'm learning new things. For example, I started drawing with just based on stuff that I drew before, and then after that there was one specific drawing that I felt like something else was needed, because before I was just doing like very simple lines with pen, and I was like, this could use some color, but I don't feel like coloring it in, so I'm just gonna add some digital components. And then I started adding some Photoshop to my drawings, and this was the next layer. And now I'm playing with one-line drawings, so I'm just not lifting my pen, and each of these iterations and new discoveries just unlock something completely new, because it's not like I change from one thing to the other and the other one disappears. It's like, no, now I have a digital component, I explore that, I discover something new within that, and then I add something on top. So it's a one-line drawing with digital components. So how do those interact, and how do they enrich each other? So it's been a lot of fun, because I am trying and discovering things that I would never stumble upon if I wouldn't be doing this sequence 9, 10, 11, 15, 20, 24, and just keep doing it and exploring it. And I still have a long way to go, so
What drawing are you on right now?
I'm on drawing 24.
Okay, so still 76 to go.
Yeah.
Almost a quarter there.
Yeah, but it feels like fun, you know, because there's not. I think what I like about this challenge is that it's not something I have to do every day. It's just 100, and if I finish it, you know, in a year from now, that's also okay. Well, I want to do it faster, but there's no pressure. Yeah, so this is the main. I mean, not the main thing, but like something different that I've been doing because I usually write, and now I'm focusing
so
more
happy
on drawing.
you're taking your drawings to a next. I don't know. You're putting more attention on them because I've been telling you this for years that since I met you, I was mesmerized by your drawings, and I love the way you draw and how you express yourself through illustrations and their stories in their own way, and they are so weird and beautifully weird. So yeah, I'm very happy that you're exploring this. So more people can see because you're making it all public on Twitter.
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it later. It's just
Let's see.
an experiment for now.
Maybe. I have a secret plan to make an auction with drawings. Shh, don't tell anyone.
$1 million.
But if you have one that you really like, just let Silvia know or let me know. We'll talk about it. Wink, wink. I love your drawings. I'm your biggest fan.
We're gonna make mugs of them.
Or mug shots.
What's that?
It's when you have a criminal against, the background with numbers and everything.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sorry, my sense of humor sometimes is
It's great. I love it.
dubious quality.
I didn't even know what a mug shot was.
Yeah, now you know. So, tell me what else. What other creative experiments are on your mind right now? Because I know there's more.
I'm curious first to know maybe like a check-in.
Okay.
How you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling high energy, like very much. But I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying this conversation. Always excited to learn more things from you. I'm glad you're sharing. I'm happy we're recording this. I hope this is useful. What we're sharing. Yeah, and I would like to explore a bit more. How about you?
Feeling energized as well. Feeling a bit vulnerable. Feeling humorous. Feeling connected to you. Yeah, I think those are the biggest things I'm feeling right now. Don't know if I want to continue for very long. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm feeling curious also about being the interviewer. I don't know
Sure,
if this
we
is
can
something you would like.
We can swap roles.
Yeah. It's just tiring to be interviewed all the time.
Alright, you're off the hook.
Okay.
Go for it. You can now ask Ama. Such a Polish way of saying A-M-A.
Yeah, you say ama. Ama kurwa.
My Polish, yeah. It's there. It's there.
So,
What would you like to know? Some of my secrets, I bet. Damn it. Shouldn't have agreed so easily to this.
my hair looks wild.
I love it.
I think something I'm curious about right now is you were talking before about wanting to speak about how Kiki is influencing our relationship. Would you like to talk about that, or would you like to save that for a different podcast?
I think this is maybe a separate topic
Okay.
because this is something more we can explore together.
Yeah.
Kiki is our cat,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think since we adopted her, it's a triad now. There's 3 of us, so of course the dynamic has changed.
Yeah.
But I would say this is a separate topic.
Cool. So, how about your holiday in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, right?
Well, my holiday in 2 weeks is going to be a bicycle tour with my friend. So this is still something that's not very... It's something I haven't done in a very long time. I mean, the last time it was actually I went with him also, and it was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It was a long time ago. So it still feels like a very distant reality to spend a few days on a bicycle. But I'm very excited for it because I know it's gonna take me completely out of the reality we live right now. And of course, COVID makes things a bit more complicated, so we'll see how our travel will look like. But we're gonna camp, which is nice to spend some time in the forest. Yeah, and well, we have 3 islands. We'll probably focus on 2 or maybe even on 1, and it's gonna be fun to spend some time also with my friend, because we don't really get the chance to spend much time together, especially in a real world, not digitally. So it's always a good opportunity to recalibrate. And I particularly like cycling because it's a very I feel it's a very good balance on a bicycle tour of self-time and a time with someone, because most of the time, while you're cycling, you cycle on your own really. So it's just you and your bike, and okay, sometimes you interact with your friend, but it's really you cycling, so you have the time to think, to let the things unroll in your head, and experience the pain of pushing your bike uphill and enjoy the riding downhill and all of that. But then when the cycling is finished, you are there with the friend to connect, to explore in this kind of more just like outside of your regular life. So it feels very much like a bubble. It's like this kind of traveling bubble, but I like it because it has a lot of self-time included. It's when you, for example, I don't know, when you just kind of travel, I don't know, even hitchhiking or this kind of stuff, you still spend most of the time talking or being together. So I think this is partially why I like cycling, because I feel the balance of these 2 things is very good. And you still get to explore, see new places, see some nature. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I haven't really been cycling since last summer, so I feel a bit rusty in that way, but it's okay. I felt already the calling. I picked up my bike yesterday and went to a nearby town for like a half an hour cycle back, and then another on the way back, so like an hour cycle. And I think now I'm gonna cycle more in general, just to get myself in the mood. But I love cycling. It's just so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, I even remember I remember it now because I think it was coming up in some conversations we had recently with our friends. But I even remember one of the moments from like my very early childhood is the moment when I first managed to cycle on my own. So like at first I had a bicycle with like those extra wheels on the side, and then I had this wooden stick in the back, so there was no extra wheels, just the 2 wheels, and I was cycling, but my mom or my dad would hold the stick. And then there was this one beautiful day that I was cycling and my mom was behind me holding the stick, and then she let go and I was cycling and I didn't realize she let go, and then I realized and I was shocked, but I continued cycling, and like it was the moment when I realized I got this, and from that moment I could just cycle. It was incredible, like this feeling of freedom. I don't know if it's because of that, but cycling is very strong for me. Feels like a very powerful activity.
Have you ever felt that in other moments of your life, this feeling of you are being supported by someone or something, and you're just kind of in these training wheels, and then suddenly it just lets go, and you realize after a moment that you are actually succeeding.
I'm not sure. I cannot really pinpoint any moment when I'm learning, like relying on another person to hold me literally. But I do, for example. But there were some like learning situations. I don't know, for example, with driving. No, when I was learning to drive, it was kind of funny setup because I was learning to drive in the UK, and I had my driving instructor. But apart from the driving instructor, what you can do there is you can be like a learner driver, and then you just rent a car and you have an experienced driver next to you that is your instructor. So you were my instructor as well. So I was doing my hours with my instructor and also driving with you. And it's kind of funny because you're from Portugal, so driving on a different side of the road. And then as I passed my license, I went to Portugal, and then I never driven again in the UK. I just drove straight away on a different side. But I remember there were some situations where, like, when there would be a moment in driving that before felt like very hard, or I couldn't have done it, like simple things like you're going on a tiny, very narrow village road, uphill, steep, and you need to stop because something comes out, and you put a handbrake, and then you need to start again without stalling a car, like simple things like this. So I remember when I was first making it happen and I was feeling like it now works, or like when there was something kind of more dangerous-ish and I would manage to respond correctly, I felt like, I got this now, I can be trusted now. Like I have my instructor or supervisor next to me, but I can do this. So I think this is something maybe the closest. So those kind of situations I had maybe a few.
I think this is something, I mean, I know this is something I really love about you, is this willingness to just throw yourself into, I mean, of course driving is just like a really small example, but I'm talking about other things, how this applies in other areas of your life. This desire that you have to just like throw yourself into uncomfortable situations and grow from that and enjoy the experience. And I really, really love this about you. I think maybe because I want to see more of that in me, and I wish I was more like that, and it just inspires me to be more like that as well. Sometimes it triggers me because it just kind of mirrors back my own lack of it, but I really love it, and it's mostly inspiring.
Thank you for saying that. Oh, I'm glad. I enjoy throwing myself into random situations. It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it isn't fun, but I enjoy the process anyway.
I'm feeling a bit tired. Maybe I would like to stop now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, my dear friend.
That was very funny.
Unexpected turn of attention. Now it's on you. So if you have any questions, you can always ask them, and we most likely will reply.
And if you have nice things to say to us, we also like it. At least I like it. I don't know about you, but I guess you do.
Who doesn't, right? Lots of love.
Okay, bye.